Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Arakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us His truth. Peace and blessings to the hopefully elect, pushing His truth and wholehearted, sincerely across the four winds. It's the Akiaikwab, back with another lesson. So let's get into it. This is Revelation, chapter 13, and verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Verse 17. That no man might buy or sell, save he that have the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Verse 18. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. So in the book of Revelation, this is talking about the mark of the beast, the RFID chip being placed into people's hands, and we're living in a time ever more present than ever where people are going to say and begin to believe that the RFID chip is a great way to prevent the spread of viruses, because the currency that we have today can transmit and contain viruses. It touches so many people's hands during daily transactions. We don't want to spread any more contagious viruses throughout the world. So why not let's all embrace this RFID chip banking system? This is the time that we're living in right now. Okay? Now this is prophesied and we're living it. We're about to enter into that time. So when I first came into the truth, upon doing some research of the elders and apostles of GMS, I came across a lesson where Elder Tahar was reading this book right here, Satan's Angels Exposed, and it's by Salem Kerben. All right, so I'm just going to read the back just to give you a brief overview, and you'll get an understanding of what it is. Not everyone who names the name of Christ is a true believer. Some, in fact, are Satan's ambassadors. Salakia. The sudden popularity of the term born again may not be a sign of end-time revival, but rather a sign of Satan's clever all-out invasion and, more tragic, Satan's deceptive infiltration among believers. All right, so this book, pretty much, it goes into Satan's angels. And it talks about the Jews, pretty much, but I shouldn't say that because it talks about the Amalekites. All right? And when it says Satan's angels exposed, it should say Satan's angels exposed. Who are the synagogues of Satan? Who are the physical embodiment of the devil that walked the earth today? But upon looking up this book on eBay, I did some research, and I wanted to find a good copy of this book. I found this book also, Satan's Mark Exposed, and it came as a pair. All right, so let's read something in this book right here. This book was written in let's see, I think it was 1980. Okay, 1981. Right, and this is chapter 2. Presidents' emergency powers can produce dictatorship. The President of the United States has limited power and unlimited power. This statement may seem contradictory to you. On the surface, it is true, but in reality, it is not true. In the time of peace, the president's power is severely limited. When people vote in a new president, they think he can bring about sweeping reforms and turn the nation around economically. People soon become disappointed when they realize he cannot fulfill most political promises made on the election trail. And that's what's happened, year after year after year after year of all these presidents, all the presidents of Babylon. They always make a promise or a slogan, we can, or yet we believe, make America great again, okay? They always do these things. And what happens? The people soon become disappointed when they realize he cannot fulfill most political promises made on the election trail. And what do people do? They come back and still believe in the same system all over again and again and again, And what is the definition of insanity? Look up the definition of insanity. Normally, there are limits to a president's power. In fact, when he arrives at the Oval Office, he is surprised just how little power he can wield. In the real world, presidents have proven less the masters than the temporary captors of a permanent government. You see? So everybody, even he knows that the president has no power. He has no power. The power rests in the people who are permanently in positions of the government. Some 3 million government workers have a permanent job. The presidents usually only last 4 years. Thus, the power rests in the hands of the permanent part of the government bureaucracy. So the power of the government really rests in the people who permanently are there, whereas the president is only there for 4 years. Then it says unusual powers. However, there does come a time when the power of the president is awesome. At a time of crisis, the president has the power to invoke emergency powers. Such emergency powers give him dictatorial control over the entire population of the United States. The Senate has realized this, and one co-chairman of the Senate committee warned that the wholesale granting of authority to the president could lead to a dictatorship. Executive orders hashtag 10995 through 11005 give the President of the United States unlimited power in key control areas. Executive orders. So there's written executive orders into law that give the United States president power, during the time of crisis. Perhaps you did not realize that the U.S. government can freeze your bank account. And that's not just the U.S. government. That's all extensions of that Babylonian system. All extensions of that beast system that all follow after Babylon. Because everywhere you go, you got a banking system. Every country, okay? The president now has the power to announce the existence of a national emergency. Did he not just declare a national emergency? Okay? And every country can do the same exact thing because we are all living in direct copies of modern day Egypt, modern day Rome. Okay? The president now has the power to announce the existence of national emergency via executive order hashtag 11921. June 15th, 1976, hashtag 490, October 30th, 1969, and other executive orders. These orders have behind them the force of law, which could be used to establish a federal dictatorship. Under these orders, federal agencies can 1. Control all food supply. 2. Control all money and credit. 3, control all transportation. 4, control all communication. 5, control all public utilities. All this can come into being by the president merely signing a piece of paper stating that a national emergency exists. You see? So he signed a national emergency, okay? Now, I just want to show you a picture of what he put in here, okay? You can look, and you see a man driving up to a bank window, you know, like a drive-through bank. You know, that's not so common here in Europe, you know, but in Babylon, they like to push convenience and laziness and slothfulness, you know, and decadence. You know, in Babylon, they don't want you to get out of your car. They want you to drive all the way through and be completely taken care of without even getting out of your car. Everything is to be more convenient. Everything is going to be for the customer, okay? And it says here, withdrawal limit today, $25. Hold on. All right. One day, you will drive up to your bank and discover a limit placed on the amount of money you can withdraw. Without financial institutions only having about 5% in liquid cash, a run on banks would be disastrous. Withdrawals could be prohibited. And you see, so what he's saying is during a national emergency, they can control the amount of money that you can take out. Or they can say there's no money being taken out, you know? It goes on to say, many people are under the mistaken impression that you have nothing to worry about because your deposits are protected by the government insurance. How good is this insurance? Bill Baxter of Baxter World Economic Service reports the Federal Savings and Loan Insurance Corporation, the FSLIC, insures deposits of its members' organizations. It has only a $7 billion reserve fund package backing up total deposits in member institutions of about $600 billion. Most banks advertise Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation insurance totaling up to $100,000 per account. The FDIC has assets of less than $10 billion, covering $8,800 billion in deposits. In an emergency, these reserves would quickly be wiped out. That is why you may one day see this sign as you drive up to your bank's teller window, restricting the amount of money you can withdraw. So the point that I wanted to bring out is they shut everything down. They're quarantining everything. They're making everything shut down, schools, stores, and everything. So why? So they can finally build the foundation of this infrastructure of the RFID banking system. If you look back onto the whole 9/11 thing, and I know a lot of people in the truth, they came into the truth by looking up the Illuminati and so-called conspiracies of the government and so forth and things like that. But when you look back into 9/11, you know, and you see that there was things that was going on that seemed very fishy. But before the whole 9/11 thing happened, there were a lot of things that happened in that building before that bomb went off. You know, they had to do super construction and they shut it down. But what I'm trying to say is Esau does things subtly, you know. He's a cunning hunter, you know, and he has a thing called gradualism. Okay, so hold on, let me see something. I think I found it in here. Gradualism, hold on. It was in here also. He even has the cashless society. That's not what I wanted, but I want to, hold on. Because there's a thing called gradualism, okay? And that's how the heads of this, the heads of the synagogue of Satan believe in conducting business. You know, that's their mode of operation, gradualism. You know, and that's like moving something so subtly that the person that is being done to doesn't expect it, doesn't see it. You know, it doesn't he doesn't realize what's going on, and this is what's happening to the modern day population. They're being so gradually pushed toward the RFID banking system and RFID chip system that they don't realize that it's going to be there. But he gives an example. You know, he says, throw a frog in hot water and it's going to jump out. But you put a frog in cold water and let it gradually heat up. He's going to enjoy that water and get into a hypnotic state of enjoyment of that water and be boiled alive, because by the time he realizes that the water is boiling, it's too late. And this is what's going to happen to the population. Esau and the synagogues of Satan, the WAM and the synagogues of Satan, are gradually moving us towards this right here. And they knew about it. This man knew about it. Salem Kerbin, he knew from 1980s. Why? How did he know? When you read these books, you see he's quoting scripture everywhere. He's not breaking he's not breaking everything down completely, but he's all in the Bible. Everything he's talking about the Christianity of things, but he's still bringing out the truth. You know? And he's saying that that Hitler, you know, he goes against Hitler because he was a so-called Jew himself, you know, who converted to Christianity, you know. But look right here. Look right here what it says. Look at that picture there. You see? Let me read it. Laser identification beam. One day in the tribulation period, you will need proper identification to withdraw or deposit money into your bank. That identification will be an invisible mark either on the back of your right hand or on your forehead. Each teller will position a laser identification beam that will be used to make your mark visible. You will need this even to cash your Social Security check. Quite possibly, you may even have to supply your worldwide money card. Remember, a tiny computer chip on your money card can contain over 10,000 transistors and store your complete life history and credit record. Can you imagine the power that international bankers and antichrists will have over the individual with this data in their instant control? Let's read that again in Book of Revelation. Revelation 13 and verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Verse 17, that no man might buy or sell save he that have the mark or the or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Okay? So this man was reading the scriptures in this time. All right, but he doesn't have an understanding that there are many antichrists. You know, he doesn't have that understanding. But this is just part one. you know, and we'll continue to keep going.